Okay, so let me get your attention for the next 1 or 1.5 hours for my presentation tonight that I prepared with you. I've done several days of preparation to get you to it, but more importantly is using the Pentagon Guider, our trade VSA Pentagon, which is our latest release, which should help many of our investors today. Today we got one of the trader, our regular trader, did make a small profit. He forgo a big one while trading intraday. I will talk about that trade also in that manner too. But more important, let's get on to what we are here tonight. Now, thank you for coming. Now, for those of you who just joined us, just type in whether have you heard of volume spread analysis, which is the basis of this tonight talk, the February 2019 market outlook, and the secret of smart money too. Okay, if you have not heard of volume spread analysis, please say no. If you have heard of volume spread analysis, just type yes. I'll appreciate that. Those of you who is coming to watch our talk in here. Now who we are, and this is me in here, more in the Western suit. Now who we are, the Trade VSA, our company is basically led by myself and a handpicked of coaches and trainers. So over the years we are one of the pioneer of volume spread analysis in Malaysia and Singapore. I would even say ASEAN for that example, because due to my previous engagement with the founder of VSA, Tom Williams. So our manner has been always looking in the financial markets, and recently we have able to extend to futures as well to Forex, which is our next foray. But let's look at the stocks, because majority of our loyal members are still in the stocks. And what we do a lot of analytics, because we want to ensure that many our signals are tested for consistent performance and result. Of course, we cannot claim we win 100% of the time. But also, what is our company stand for? Our company, the Trade VSA mission, is to help every trader investor to trade smarter every time. Right, that's right, trade smarter every time. That's why we bring you the Pentagon Guider. So to understand, especially the financial markets, which can be very complex, the stocks, the ETF, the futures, the Forex, the Bitcoin, right? All those are a lot of complexity. Now, hopefully with Pentagon Guider, some of you may have a chance to try it out. We'll feel that this can help you a great deal. All right. Now, I will start with the market outlook first, okay? Definitely for the February market outlook. That's always been my theme. If you look at the recent report, which is from the CIMB, dated February 14, the outlook for Malaysia has been still from the January that we talk about. Now, remember, this outlook that we do is a very regular event that we do every month, typically in the along the first week if we can, because of the Chinese New Year, so we decided to do it just slightly after Chinese New Year. So what we have for the fourth quarter GDP growth for the Malaysian market has been still a slowdown. Now, typically last year we were forecasting around the 4.9 or 5.0 or GDP growth for 2018, right? But we didn't get that. We actually slowed down to 4.7. Now, remember, we did have our election, the GE14 in the Malaysian context. We know that Pakatan Harapan won, and there were 3 months of tax holiday. And now, despite that, the market did not really spend. It did spend, but not much. And then the SSD came in September. Right now, you can see later on a couple of slides, things hasn't really tremendously improved, also due to the US-China trade war, which I will talk about in the next slide. Investment has stagnant. Now, only the gain that we see so far has been the private sectors, which is the sectors that really did badly is the construction side. You can see a lot of the constructions took a beating because a lot of the mega projects did well. I think also the property sector in Malaysia also overhang, as there is a glut of property that we can see from the daily report that comes out. So you can see there is a plenty of what we call road shows and property sectors, people coming up to sell their properties. So on the back of that, the CIMB group maintained the GDP growth for 2019 at 4.7. Now, why is this important? If you look at the market, traditionally in the relationship, market tend to move higher. I'm talking about the stock market. When there is a a slight improvement in the GDP growth. Now, last year, let's say 2018 is 4.7 GDP growth, and they are forecasting also 4.7. So what does that mean? Which means the market may not have any more peak to go for. However, if the world condition, which is normally forecast by the IMF, that this market can go higher, then we potentially see our GDP growth. Now, that's always going to come back from the spending of the US market as well as the Chinese market. So that's very important too. So Malaysia, 4.7 GDP growth. Now, if you look at the GDP growth here, this is a nice chart that we have. We did have the market hit peak. Remember the 1890 plus? That was way back in in mid 2017. Right. So that's why we hit. So right now we are around 4.7, and going forward, if you're going to be around the 4.7 mark, how is the KLCI going to go higher? Correct? Let's say, maybe going back to at least 1760. Right now is around 1683. I didn't see what's the closing today, which is right now the KLCI 1683. So we have the height is about 1760. Okay. So this is where we are now. So in order for the market to go higher, which I think will improve, but that's going to take time from the Pakatan Harapan government coming in and clean up a lot of the mess that we see right now. Okay. Now on Singapore side, again, this is also finding the growth slow down a lot. Now you look here, the GDP growth has slowed down from 3.9% to almost 3.2%, which is almost a 70 basis point. That's a lot, considering that Singapore is one of the powerhouse in terms of economics in there. Even there was a recent article in Bloomberg, I think some of you may have seen it, the top 1% wages earner or earnings are earning almost 690,000 US dollars. Now, if you convert that, let's talk about 700,000, you talk about 2.1 million at the top salary mark. That's the top 1%. And for Malaysia, I would think we are somewhere maybe around 100,000 compared to 2.4 million for that one. So that's why you see Singapore, even though they have a slowdown in the GDP to 3.9 to 3.2%, but there is still a substantial amount going for that one. Any slowdown, again, which is not usually good in terms of the stock market. Now, if you look here, again, very similar pattern to the Malaysian side. Again, the GDP growth, a lot of them are actually influenced by the global growth, okay, by China and US. Now, you all know that the China and the US trade war is ongoing, and that's going to have an impact. So you can see right now this market is heading lower. Now, there's a lot of talk about recession too. I will get into that about in terms of the US market in here. So you see that this so-called growth is actually turning lower in here. So the SGX, in terms of the STI, you tell me, how can it go higher, right? So at one point in time when it peak, you need to take profit, right? And perhaps go on the short side. That's where Pentagon guide is going to come in. I will talk about a lot about the secrets about it and how you can take advantage of this. So now on the US side, there's a lot of talk about going towards the recession. Now, if you look at the US annual growth rate, right now, 2018, it is in a straight line. Now, the US Fed, okay, I think you all know them, Jerome Powell has said that, look, because of the GDP growth that is really growing right now, that's why they're raising interest rate, isn't it? Right? You heard about that. That raising of interest rate in December, right, has caused the market to really fell off, the floor. And sometimes they talk about the pre-Xmas 2018 flash crash, because there was a lot of program selling, the market sell it off in here, but we all know subsequently the market. So there's a lot of fear, which I want to talk about, but actually it's not fear at all. So why is this important? Because if you look at the US growth rate, it is increasing, not decreasing. Now this insert that I have in here, very important that I show you, this is what we have here. Okay, this is this part here that you see, right? Now this 207. Okay, and 2009. That was the global financial crisis. Okay, so you see that the trend has to be coming down. We haven't seen that trend yet. So that's why the recession is not going to happen this year. If it's going to happen, it's going to be 2020. It's going to, at one point in time, the market will peak. So as long as you have joined us for our regular talks and also perhaps using the Pentagon, that will definitely help you a lot more in doing the market timing in here. So what does it mean? It means that a lot of people are really fearful and they have this syndrome. So what is fear? What is fear to most people? What do you think? They fear the market, they don't dare to buy. Now remember what Warren Buffett said. Fear is when people sell. But as a smart trader, as a VSA trader, you are a good investor. You will think to buy. Now remember what Warren Buffett said, buy when there is, people are fearful, and when people are greedy, you sell. And along that line, there is so much wisdom in it. To me, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Now, isn't that true? Right? A lot of time, people do come to talks and there's so much fear. Now in this market, being fearful is not going to help you, right? You need to embrace the market volatility. You need to embrace the secret of the smart money. And one way definitely is understanding volume spread analysis. Now let's talk about the US stock market fear index, which is the VIX. Now the US market has this thing called a fear index. Again, you go to TradingView, type VIX. This is using our Trade VSA heat zone. Definitely you can see the red zone that we see right now. This market is trending lower. Now VIX is very important. We want VIX to be as low as possible. How low? Around the 12 to 15 12 to 15 times. 12 to 15 times, okay? Which is currently is at about 16.22. That's right. Now when the market is, it works in the reverse way. Just take of it. The lower the better. Now in the December 2018, the pre-Christmas crash in US, it hits 36. Right? That is also where it was the peak of the US-China trade war. So that's where the fear is. So at one point in time, if the market's going to crash, which many people talk about this fear, remember, false evidence appearing real, this VIX has to shoot up. Right now it's at 16. I don't know tonight what's going to be. If there's another 600 point sell-off, you will see this market shoots up. However, if there is another 400 points going up, then the number will come down. But what's definitely true is when the market go higher, especially if we don't have so much of a growth, learn to think to take profit. Okay, as the market go higher, learn to think to take profit. Because if you look from the next chart, which I'll go to, which is the US Dow Jones Pentagon Guide, you'll notice the market right now, since I would say this was the 10th of January, if not mistaken, this date here is when the green Pentagon, okay, 209 turned green, and since then it's been going up. You've got an overhead resistance here around the 26K. Okay, so right now there is still some opportunity on the US side. Use the Pentagon buy guide in there and look for trades, right? And join also in our Telegram user discussion group too. All right, we created one for our paid members in there, so we can ask a lot of questions in there, and I'll try to support you, myself and Zach. All right, so this is where we are now. Now I'm going to go back to the next slide. Is talk about the foreign funds flows. All right, now you notice the foreign fund flows. This is started back in November 2018 right to 13th of February, which is just 2 days ago. You notice there was this big sell-off that we have, remember, right, which is right to Christmas, and Christmas was the period where we have the US crash. Okay, and since then the market recovered back. So right now we are hitting this level in here. Okay, this level here, which is, you look at it, it's almost still a net 400 million outflow, and the market the last 2 days is dipping down. So this is again what we call resistance. So going henceforth, in my opinion, for the KLCI, I'm turning a bit bearish. Okay, because if you have foreign funds selling, no, it's been going up since, if you notice, what day was this? This was the 9th of January, correct? 2019. It's been buying. The heaviest buying we have was about 155 million, and then right now we have this minus 122 million outflow. So every time when you see outflow, and that also explains why the KLCI is still hovering around 1680. That doesn't allow it to break below the 1700 level too, correct? So that's the deal. Now if you look in terms of the January to February 2019 movement, we get something like this. You can see market goes up, and then we have this turn right now, so which is the same as you have it here. The January month will be somewhere around, this is where we are, right? But you take into composition, we started here, the market went down, and that's why we have the KLCI also down. Okay, down, and then when the foreign fund buy, which is the 9th of January, the market goes up. So that simply tells us there is a very strong correlation between foreign funds coming in, pushing up the KLCI higher, and going higher. So at this point, I'm not really bullish about the market. I will start to turn bearish. I will start to be more into cash, taking profit. So keep that in mind, okay? For those of you who's trading the Malaysian market, from the overall foreign funds flow, looking at market breadth, we are looking at the very bearish days to come. You can see over on the left-hand side here, when the market starts to turn, here you can see 122 million. We don't want this to blow up to a minus 150. We don't want that. If it does, that means this market's going to go lower. All right. But on top of that, there may be some good news. All right. Now, the US Dow Jones as a Pentagon Gaia has extended a lot more. Of course, if you have some stock, you can continue to run it. Right. Now, let's look at the FKLI, which is a cousin of the Colombo Stock Exchange here. All right, which is composite. Now, you can see it turned this bullish, okay, trend zone. And then you have the red pentagon. Right now it's turning in here. That's why, you know, if I look at it, because of the foreign fund flows, right, which is actually turning negative. So that's why it is already what we call a bearish hit zone. Sorry, bearish trend zone here. Okay, this right, orange is bearish, and that's why it's important it doesn't break below the 1670 and 1660 level. Okay, now that's all going to happen if the US-China trade war didn't turn out. You're going to see this market, right, breaking down. Now I will only be bullish once this thing break back up to this ATR stop. Now in the Pentagon Guider, we have two ATR stop loss. This is for stop loss for short, short for long, and this is the stop loss for short. Okay, and this is a. All right, now looking at the Singapore STI again, but I'm more positive with the Singapore. Why? Because we have the green pentagon buying. That's right. Okay, green pentagon just turned green. I'm not sure about today. Maybe there's a sell-off, but it already turned, and it's looking up to break through this overhead resistance in here. Now this is using the STI. Why? Because STI is a leading indicator, and to me, I think there's a lot of opportunity on the Singapore side. Singapore looking to be more bullish compared to the Malaysian side. And if you look at the Singapore, there are more trades in here. Anyway, I will give you two trade idea for next week buying, and on intraday chart using the hourly chart for 60 minutes using Pentagon Guider, and see how you can benefit from that one. Okay. Now let's look at the US-China trade war going back to May 2018 in terms of what we call a timeline, which is the beginning of this whole thing, which is almost coming to almost 10 months already, right? And you can see US bang with the tariff, and then China retaliate with another tariff. This is ongoing and ongoing. Now some of this, but there are US-China talking now, which they are still talking. Talk, see how it goes. But very important is the companies. I think those of you who follow the Apple news, which I do, may have known that Apple came out with the news. No doubt they beat the estimate, but the sales of the iPhone came off the charts because of a lot of Chinese consumers are not buying more Apple iPhone. Instead, they are buying more Huawei because of the Huawei tension going on with the CFO in here. But these are the companies that you can see right now are those will benefit if the US and China trade war being reversed, right? Because you look at the terms of the revenue. Now, this is from my January, December talk last year until now. I did say that the market is going to recover because of the 90-day tariff, which is at least until Chinese New Year, February 5th, which I was right. So the market did rally, not as much as the US one did rally. Malaysia, you can see it actually turned bearish after a couple of weeks ago by the Pentagon Guider. But right now, I'm looking at this date. So that's why from the Malaysian KLC standpoint, I'm turning bearish. You can see 2nd of March is the deadline. So that's why they are pushing. And today is already February 15. You got 2 more weeks before you get onto the 90 days. However, the good news is, which is the recent headline, that the China and United States are making progress in Beijing on the trade war, which still continue to next week because the deadline of March 2nd. Now, the other thing just came out on the news today is that Donald Trump willing to sign the bill to avoid shutdown, but he will have this controversy called the national emergency to free billions for border wall. So I don't know how that's going to pan out tonight, which will be quite interesting. At one point, the shutdown of the government will be good, but this emergency in there. But then again, looking from the Pentagon Guider, we may have already hit a peak for the US Dow Jones. So even going on that, I will regard this as good news. So in short, we've seen a lot of good news so far, right? So if you see a lot of good news so far, be careful of trend reversal. And that's one of the secrets about volume spread analysis. When there's good news, you have to be careful. Now, how many of you really agreed with me what I've just said? Good news. Just type yes. Okay? If you agreed with me that so far we're seeing a lot of good news from the US standpoint, okay, that we will see trend reversal, which means good news, think to buy or sell. Think to sell, don't think to buy, or think to short. Right? Would you all agree? Right? So another thing that point is about the S&P average decline and recovery. Now in here is a very good chart going back from 1989 to 2017 from one of the bank's report that I received. You'll notice the 5 to 10% are what we call the pullbacks. 10 to 20% are typically what we call the corrections. And every time we did have a correction, right? Or I'm going to show you next. And every time it's correction, you take 3 months to recover, which it did. Right, it took 4 months to on average to decline, and then 3 months. So this is the point here, which I will go back to this chart. Okay, this chart, but I'll keep it on the next slide. Okay, just keep that in mind first. Now, every corrections, right? There were 7 corrections in here, and average is about 15%, which is the last flash crash that we did, somewhere from October to December 2018. It is around 15 to 16% too this year. So 3 months to recover. We got we have the January coming to February, March. So March 2nd, that's the month of recovery. So we'll probably see a bit of trend reversal, another correction coming in very soon for the US market. All right, 3 months to recover. Now, on my second part of my presentation, I've completed the market outlook. So as I said before, in short, I'm not that bullish anymore. I'm starting to turn bearish on the side that think to short. Definitely using one of the tools that we talk about, which is the secret of volume spread analysis, that is the leading indicator. Now, why we believe this trading system will create income profits, which I will demonstrate to you today. So this is Choi San-ye, right? And it's Choi San-ye bring what? Wealth with it. So 恭喜发财, 恭喜发财. So this is quite appropriate, especially right now during this festive season. I brought this God of Prosperity. That's right, God of Prosperity for creating unlimited wealth. This is what we think Pentagon Guider can do for you. Now, this is from a well-known Institute of Financial Center in New York. It published that the Institute of Finance Technical Analysis back in 1999, the father of technical analysis, John Murphy, said that, look, the principal source of information that's available to trader, investor, and technician are price and volume and open interest. So he stated that, right? So everything else is secondary. So my question to you, if you're not using volume, I know a lot of people use price, but not many people use volume. Think about it. What are you using? Because if you don't have volume, you're missing part of it, information. Now, many top traders and professionals in the world use this method. I think I'm going to go through here 5 super traders. First of all is Lenger. He was a world champion in 2011. He made 63% return. Ray Dalio, another person, made 800 million. Victor Niederhofer, another 400% return in 18 months. With together with George Soros, and also another Wyckoff trader, another VSA trader. Jesse Stein made about 46,000 to 6.8 million. And the latest person that I came across is Dan Zenger. All right. Now Dan Zenger is a plumber. Now think of it. What does a plumber know about the market? Right. Markets are supposed to be very complicated. Now if a plumber can do it, he able to turn from $10,000 to 80 million in 2 months. Why can't you? Now, his story was actually depicted in this chart pattern analysis. How a super trader turned from 42 million to within from 11,000 within 23 months, depending where you take it from. So this book, the chart pattern analysis, is actually price and volume, right? And the author don't like to call it VSA because they fear that the student who learn this will probably come to it. Volume spread analysis is a thing. Now think very carefully. Now, so my question is, if you're not using price and volume, any form of price and volume in your daily need, then you're missing a big part of the picture. Think about that. Volume is very important. Now, why we say that? Because price and volume, VSA work with any market, any time frame. Right now, this powerful information you can apply immediately. Today, with TradingView, we have Forex. In the coming talks, I will add on some perhaps Forex example that you can think of, and you can use the TradingView. Definitely right now, TradingView, Trade VSA, Pentagon Guider, you can already start applying this powerful information. Because the people who align themselves with the smart money, they grow in-term long-term wealth. Now remember the Choi San-ye, right? The God of Prosperity. These smart traders are actually aligned with the money flow. I will also introduce this concept in our Secret of Smart Money called the transfer of ownership from the weak hands to the strong hand. Weak hands, strong hands. Because smart money is to, who are the weak hands holder? You tell me, who are the weak hand holder? The weak hand holder is the public. Who is the strong hand holder? The strong hand holder is the smart money. So when you align with the smart money flow, this is how you grow your Choi San-ye or your long-term wealth. Now, once you know how to read a chart, you will trade like an insider because it is a professional thinking mindset, which I talk about it when people are afraid of the market. What do insiders do? When they're afraid, they think to buy. Right? I'm going to give you an example. The flash crash was another one. Now with this, you can create another source of income that many of you deserve. I was talking to another broker. He came to me and said that, look, times are tough. I said, why don't you try out VSA, right? Then you can consider take money out from the market. Now, with that, you definitely improve your trading result. Right now, TradingView allows you to access almost 52 markets in the world: ETF, Forex, futures. Now, I know Malaysia you can't short, although you can do it through the integrated daily proprietary system, but that's only during the day. Not everyone can trade, but futures is definitely one, right? So very important is once you understand about the strong hand holder and the weak hand holder being aligned on the right side, you will stop being a victim, right? And most of you know you don't want to be a sheep. What happened to sheep? Sheep get slaughtered, right? Okay. So question is, are you willing to do something different to have something more as well as different? So you think about volume spread analysis. It is the only true leading indicator. As mentioned by John Murphy, the father of technical analysis, in his report 99, only two variables: price, volume. These are the only two true indicators. Any else is secondary. Now, there's a lot of people out there using a lot of indicators, but all are just price. Can you imagine? There was one trader I used to know, he came up and did a presentation. He put on almost 15 indicators. At the end of it, I told them, look, all your 15 indicators are derived from price. So where is the difference? If it's price, you're looking at price, but you must have volume. So because volume gives you the foresight where the market's going to go, rather than hindsight here. Okay. Now, so I'm going to talk about the Pentagon Guider. Now, Pentagon Guider is first our own trade VSA proprietary volume spread analysis, which is supposed to give you the edge, as I said, your stocks, futures. Now, it's based on the old teaching of Richard Wyckoff and Tom Williams. I first actually learned VSA from Bill Woolman, which is also still my sifu. I always give credit to him. But later on, I met Tom, and Tom taught about what he says about insider syndicates, strong hand, weak hands, follow the smart money flows. Now, he said that, look, if you know how to follow the smart money, if you know how to use volume spread analysis, you never have to worry about putting a bread in your table. What he's saying that you never go broke. That very powerful message, he told me, just tell your people, referring to Asian, because I'm the only Asian guy he met. He always said the young Chinese fella, Tom said, and that was me, right? So I was very fortunate to meet him. He passed away 2 years ago. God bless. And you know, I'm very fortunate to learn VSA from Bill as well as Tom. Now, Bill learned it back in 1976 and continued to teach and preach VSA. Now, the VSA Pentagon Guider, how is it different from the traditional VSA? And what we did was that we made it into an expert system, right? Like a smart money tracker system, just like a Waze, okay? And this Trade VSA is a Malaysian-owned company. Some people ask, is this from US? I said, no, this is truly made in Malaysia, and it's for international stock exchange, futures, Bitcoin, Forex, a lot of real-time and price delay too. So what we call it, it is able to generate the buy and sell signal. And when you do that, it is able to remove a lot of the so-called analysis, very quick analysis, decision-making you need to do, especially when you're trading the shorter time frame, 5 minutes and 10 minutes on the Forex as well as the futures, right? The longer term on the weekly chart, you got time to read, you got time to absorb, but on the shorter time frame, it's tough. Now, nowadays, it's very difficult to trade the long-term view. As I said before, early on the market outlook, the outlook for other than the US market doesn't look very great, and we know on the background of the US market, there will be a recession coming too. So this Waze, the smart money tracking system, the buy and sell, we will think it like a Waze where you can have a direction when to take profit, when to get in, when to cut loss, and when to run your profits. All right. So one of the mistakes that are made by many amateurs, that a lot of amateurs don't know when the trend starts or don't know how to align it, or a lot of time they take too much risk. And more importantly, also, they always think about money. They think about gain. They never learn to do risk management. Now, risk management is very important, because if you fail to understand risk, you'll go broke very, very soon. And finally, they don't invest in education. All they want is say, hey, give me a tip. I got many requests to say, hey, give me one stock today. Yeah, sure, I can give you one stock, which I will do this evening. But the question is, when do you exit? Correct. No? It's like I'm giving you one fish, but you need more than one fish to survive, right? You must know how to fish. Think about that. Okay. So that's why I show you this chart, talk about the comfort zone. Many of us actually falls into this red area here, which is what we call comfort zone, where you want to feel very safe and in control. But like it or not, you'll never learn. The key thing is to move towards to the right side of the screen here. You want to always be here. For me, I'm always here finding purpose, living my dream, setting new goals, conquering objective. This is where I think many of you want to go to from here to here, acquiring new skill. Now, to acquire new skill, you have to get out from your comfort zone. There will be fear, and many of you will find excuses. So my job and my team and my coaches and the tools will try to build an ecosystem for you to move from your comfort zone across the fear zone to a new learning zone. Give us a chance to teach you this comfort zone. Don't stay in the comfort zone. Live your dreams. Grow and learn. Acquire new skills. VSA is something that I think all of us should learn. Just like Tom told me, once you learn this, you never really have to worry about money. And thanks God for him. So why is because this gentleman, Richard Ney, which also Tom talked about a lot during my time with him. He said that, look, the first guy who really talked about the market manipulator and all this secret about smart money is Richard Ney. He's actually an actor. He managed money for one of the richest men in US, Paul Getty. Actually, he was also featured on the National Geographic on the word genius. Right? He was first gained attention in 1962, where he called the stock market crash. Right, and many subsequent crash. And he wrote this book called The Wall Street Gang by Richard Ney. The book that tells you how to beat the Wall Street manipulator at his own game. And finally, in 1963, since then he has passed away. He lived a good life, but he continued to educate the public, just like Tom, and pretty much what I'm doing today. Educating the public. Look, you want to make money, you got to align with the weak hands or the strong hands. What do you think? Weak hand or strong hand? Which do you want to align yourself? The weak hand holder or the strong hand holder? Right? Type it in your response. I'd like to hear that. Okay, good. More of you coming with strong hand holder. Now there is this thing called merchandising process. Now the merchandising process is typically how the smart money recycle the share, or what we call the ownership of a share. Always started from professional buying. Do they buy on good news or bad news? Professional buying, the smart money. Definitely bad news, isn't it? Definitely bad news. So that's why the December crash that we saw was definitely an example of bad news. Then they accumulated as they go higher right now. That's why I said right now is good news, isn't it? I mean, if the US and China trade war, no problem. What happened to the market? You will see this thing coming down, right? Because why? The pundit, all the CNBC fella, the Bloomberg fella say, hey, the US-China trade war is all over. It's going to go all up. The auntie, uncle is going to come up and buy, right? Who's going to be selling? You betcha, the professional will be selling. I'll be getting ready to short, my friend, right? And when I short, I'll do the short covering, which is the Pentagon Guider, orange guider supposed to do. Right? After I short, later reaccumulate, just like the smart money. And this is how you align with the strong hands. So know this process, what we call the merchandising process. Right? Important. Professional selling, you think you want to sell. And doing those are what we call the climatic. I'm going to show you some example. Now, why this is important, that's why we do a lot of pattern recognition in the Pentagon Guider. Really, look at it. Because the smart money, like it or not, they are big, they are huge, correct? Not? Like, smart money won't be buying 100 or 200 units. They'll be buying maybe thousands of units, but they don't buy in one day. They will accumulate slowly. A few hundred here, a few hundred there, slowly, and they will leave footprint. Trust me. Just like when an elephant walk on your lawn, they will leave footprints. So you must train yourself to look for those footprints. And if you do, you're going to make money, I can tell you that. So Tom said, this is one of the quotes, the way to look at the what we call the footprint is volume, spread, price spread, and the amount of activity that's going. There's a lot of wisdom in here, which I don't have time to go through, but definitely some of you who eventually will join our program, move into our echo community, the ecosystem where you train to align with the strong hands, unlimited wealth. The God of prosperity, Choi San Ye, will always be with you. Because this is what the professional trader do. Tom also said, look, forget about the intrinsic value. Well, they say, look, this intrinsic value is supposed to be $1.20 because it does this business or that business. So, but the stock price is 10 cents. So people buy, right? Remember, Tom also said, look, the intrinsic value is just a perceived value. It mystified a lot of directors with strong companies, right? Strong companies, directors, strong company, but they have a weak stock. Why? The presence of smart money. I will tell you a few. Now here is one example. I think some of you may see, but this is way back in October 2007. The little known Malaysian stock has surged 400%. Okay, so 400%. So when you see a stock like this, what would you do? Do you want to buy or sell? Come on, just type buy or sell. Those of you who's listening in here, because this is about the secret of the smart money. You're like, right, buy, yeah, I want to buy that too, type fast, because this was reported by Bloomberg Technology, right? Now, if you look in terms of tech fast, what happens in here? The Pentagon Guider first came out, okay? Let me just go through with you here. There's a lot of information in here. This is a Pentagon Guider on the weekly chart. Came out in when? This was in, let me just see that, okay. This was somewhere in January, okay, 2017. Now look at the date when it first hits, 27th of October. That's where the news first hit, 27th of October, right here, right? And our Pentagon Guider, right, has an ATR stop loss. So as long as we stay above here, we let the profit run, right? And you can see from the entry to the red pentagon, that's where you exit, it's about 391%. Now just imagine some of you who answered to buy when this news came out on the 24th of October. What would you do? Imagine, let's say you buy on this news 24th of October. This was 27th October, right? 24th, 27th, very nearby. If you buy, the market will go down and down and down. Why? You probably say, look, the Bloomberg said this is one of the best company to buy. Look, it surged 400%. I'm sure it will go up another 50%. So what do most public do? What do the sheep do? Because they don't have time to understand volume spread analysis. They don't understand about the smart money, the secret about it. They don't understand the strong hand holder. They don't understand about the merchandising process. What would they do? They will hold, like many of people I know. So you can see the news broke out, but as you can see, also very interesting, some people might say, hey, look at this. This is good news here, right? Which is what I'm also saying right now. The US and China trade were good news. Market's high, right? This market is going to turn, right? But the Pentagon Guide on a weekly chart is still maintaining, why? Orange, bearish trend zone. Since then, so many traders who follow Pentagon Guider based on the old chart like this would never have gone long. Would never have gone long. They probably short here. They cover back. Yes, they lost some money, no doubt about it. But in between this area in here, using the pattern recognition that we will teach you, either line change or short on uptrust, you can still make money on the short side. Now, if you have sold here, right? If you continue to run, you will still avoid the 70% drawdown, the 70% loss in here. Now think carefully, is this by chance or by design? The news of tech fast hitting on Bloomberg on 27 October, what do you think? Is it by design or by chance? It's by design. So conclusion, smart money won and the ship lost. Okay, now this is even more recent, 6th of January 2019. So some of my job every day is to teach people to look out for. Now another well-known blogger is promoting Charimin in his popular blog since 6th of January. Now I went back at the earliest I can find is 6th of January. In his blog, I'm not going to have any names in here. The first time he mentioned was 6th of January, second time January 30th, then he get more desperate, February 1st, 2009, then lucky February 4th, then February 7th, every day mentioning. What does that tell you to the stock? Higher or lower? You tell me. Right? Is the stock going to go higher or lower? Right? So you can see in here, with the Charimin weekly, that it was up 95% since the green pentagon. Okay, when it turned green pentagon, this target has been going up by 95%. Right, before the first post. If the first post of January will probably be somewhere, I believe, is this part here, this trade here. Okay, right now he's still posting, right? Post number 2, post number 3. Then the most recent one is February 7. Wow, February 7 is 2 days after Chinese New Year, right? Wow, the fellow still work in Cho Sam, no? That we say in Cantonese. People only start work on the 4th day of Chinese New Year. This guy already start work on 2nd day, am I right? 5th, 6th, yeah, Cho Sam start work already, you know. Right? So that's why the stock goes up. Right? Now, having Pentagon guided, you see upthrust, and you know what is this going to happen, right? So is this by chance or by design? Type it in. What do you think? By chance or by design? Right? This blogger who is writing in here, right? You could have made possibly a 95% return on the since the beginning of the Pentagon guided, but right now with the blogger, please be very careful. Now remember, one of the job of smart money is to lure. What I mean is lure people is like what we call the merchandising process, professional buying, professional selling. It's from during good to extreme good news, because a lot of busy investing public typically, you know, they're juggling amount time. They have to look their forum, the investment forum, see what their friends are buying. They have to maybe listen to his reminder. So there's so much information going on in here. So what do? This famous blogger say this, sure can buy one. Just like what Bloomberg said back in 2017. All kena also, right? Because a lot of time we have to be very careful, right? Because there is a change of share ownership. A lot of time where you have good news or extreme good news, that is what we call the transfer of ownership from the weak hands to the strong hands. And many of us, including myself, when I start on my career, we fall into this trap. So very important, make sure you don't fall into the hands of the smart money, because they will lure you into this black hole. You see this black hole, you can just fall, and it's a very deep pit here. I hope you like this graphics. I took some time to really illustrate to the transfer ownership. However, this is the example which I talked about earlier. Now, if we look back during the pre-Christmas holiday 2018, there was a crash in the US Dow Jones. Now, one of the things you can see here, what can you tell me in terms of volume? Can someone tell me about the volume in here? There was one volume that really stick out. Now remember, the bottom is the volume. Okay, the bottom is the volume. What does the volume tell you here? Does this thing really stick out here, right? Isn't it? Correct. So if you look at that, is where you call the climatic volume. A climatic volume will occur typically before trend reversal. Every time when you see climatic volume, that's where the extreme bad news, right? The merchandising is over, right? Bad news, just like good news. So be careful of good news. So that's why when people say this store, very good news, this store, be very careful, because this year, if you look in terms of GDP growth, there's nothing much. So a lot of smart money will be working very hard with the media, with the blogger, and do a lot of these things just to prop up the thing. Another word they use is pump and prime, pump and sell. That's another word with that. So the climatic volume will have to occur before the trend reversal, right? And you'll see the market reverse. Now, if you look here, this is where the market sell off, right? Sell off here, and then the market goes back up. So this is where the change of the weak hands to the strong hands. The change of the weak hands to the strong hands. Okay, pump and dump. That's right. Pump and dump. Pump and dump. So a lot of this, be very careful because when you're busy, right? So try to understand the volume side. So what we do from a trade VSA standpoint is to educate the public. Our job is to educate and don't be a victim like the guy, the busy guy who fall into that dark hole right now. But right now you see Dow Jones, good news, this market may start to turn and you got a lot of upthrust. You see here, a lot of weakness are coming up too. Just be a bit careful. I would, and I see red diamond coming in, the red pentagon, I'll be very careful. Now here is a chart that you can see in terms of the market crash. You see here, correction, minus 16%. Right? Now early on, during the market outlook, I show you one chart, right? Every time where there is a market correction, the S&P one, they're quite similar. 16% is considered market correction, 20% or more are considered crash. Okay, so we have a 16% correction in here, and then typically we take 3 months to recover. And indeed, the market, you can see minus 16% here, down, and now since then has moved up 17%. Right, we have here, this was January, no, this was December 24th. So you can see here is January, February, and then March 2019. So remember the 2nd of March also coincide with the US-China trade war ending. So that's why if you look from the new standpoint, it's almost there lah. How to say that? Okay, that's right. Good. Some of you say pump and dump. Thank you very much. Now, of course, we can also align with the smart money. That's why we're talking about the secret. How do you align with the smart money? The merchandising process. Now in here, one way definitely we use, and that's why we strongly recommend you to try out the Pentagon Guider, the buy signal, right? The buy signal came out on Kellington on the 27th of December, right? You can see definitely we have some really low volume accumulation. This was the December sell-off that we have last year, 2018. The sell-off, then the pickup in the buy signal was on the 27th of December. Then we all know, right? Just after Chinese New Year, we have the 11th of February 2019 is the good news, right? So you can also see good news, all-time high. Now again, some of you may have Kellington. Do you want to sell or do you want to buy? Right? So keep that in mind. What you want to do? Are you investing or trading for that purpose? And have a plan for that. And if you have a plan for that, I'm sure, I tell you, in the long run, you'll come out on top. Now, what we also say here, there was also a change from the weak hands to a strong hand, from the low volume to the high volume. Now notice, pay notice here, this area here is what we call the extreme low volume. Then you have the volume higher, right? Now volume some more. Volume are coming up. See that? Volume are coming up. Volume are coming up. So that we have a change of hand. And why? Because on February 11, the good news is that Kellington secure a project in Singapore which is worth about 31 million Sing dollar. That's about 93 million ringgit, and that's why the market goes higher, right? So it did a bit of time. So right now the weekend holder already sort of given up, because now the weekend holder want to come in. Good news, right? Good news, public come in, so there'll be a change of share ownership from the strong hands to the weak hands. The strong will have to sell. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, the next case is also from Singapore, S61, which is the SBS transit. For those of you from Singapore, again, green buy signal Pentagon came out on the 21st of January, and there was a news release. Again, notice the low volume in here, right? These are the low volume here, then you get high volume, and the volume starts to move up. Then higher volume here, right? You can see volume going up. So again, that is what we call a change in weak hands to strong hands, because weak hands don't like to hold the stocks. But remember, smart money, they buy in wholesale. They'll buy 1,000 shares, 1,000 block, 100 block. Slowly they accumulate, low volume accumulate. So when they sell, can they sell it now? Now on 13th of February, good news or bad news? What does smart money lure you? right? They definitely lure you with good news. So that's why volumes are high, they can get out, right? 70% surge in net profit, bus contractor, SBS. Isn't it interesting? $3.30 to $2.70. That's a lot of money too. Now, why time and time again VSA work? Because we look at information. Now, remember John Murphy earlier on said about information. There are only three sources of information that really work: price, volume, and open interest. Anything else is secondary. So in that manner, we see that there are many layers of information, right? Information source. Definitely one of them are forecasting tools like feng shui. Then is the fundamental analysis, which is typically historical, right? Unless they have some insider information. Then we have the traditional technical analysis, which is MACD, just looking at price, lagging, but the price and volume is the leading indicator, which I talk about: the strong hand, weak hands, the volume, the change of weak hand holder to the strong hand holder. And as a trader, right, that's where Pentagon Guider comes in, the smart money tracker system. You see this binoculars in here. He's going to be looking for the trail of the smart money, right? That's money, right? And the example like Kellington, like SBS, here they made money too. Right now, think to go short. Okay, think to go short, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now with the trade VSA Pentagon Guider, we are really focused on what we call a full-fledged trading system methodology. Right now, when it comes to trading system methodology, you have the discretion trader and you have the mechanical trader. Now, discretion trading are typically what many people start off with. You know, they listen to here, they go from seminar to seminar, they listen to Sifu A, Sifu B, Sifu C. So they mix A, B, C, and D. So chapalang, then a lot of emotion come in, and there are many indicators moving. That's discretion trading. Now, the mechanical trading, it takes a bit of maturity. A lot of traders will eventually become very mature, the way they approach. Why they become mature? They lost enough money. I can tell you that. When you lost enough money, you will become mature. You don't simply do anymore. Either you will leave the market completely and say, hey, this system bodo, this system no you, right? But the smart one will stay behind. Why? Because mechanical systems are objectively. We back test a lot of things and we validate by variable data, which means look at historical data, 5 years, 10 years, we back test it and then we forward test. So that's why I tell a lot of those people who started with volume spread analysis, go slow, spend maybe 1 hour a week, right? Test out what you have before you go into it. Because a good trading system will have a set of fixed rules. And later on in this slide, if you do let me stay on, I will provide you with some of those rules. Not all, because we will keep that for the workshop for those who wish to participate in our Pentagon Guider, where we have the buy and sell signal too. Right. Now, with the Pentagon Guider, like any trading system, we have fixed rule, which is based on volume spread analysis, which we talk about the strong hands, the weak hands, the merchandising, and a lot more we're going to cover for that one. Right. So when you provide a buy and sell signal on the entry point, it takes a lot out for what we call the emotional distress. Now think of it, on the Christmas Eve crash that we have on December 2018. It was scary, isn't it? I mean, you're supposed to have a holiday on December 25th, and suddenly, wow, Dow Jones crashed 1,000 points. KLCI also went down 20 or 30 points. How would you feel? Very distressful, right? So by having a Pentagon Guider buy and sell signal, this is where your emotion are removed. Right? And when you remove that emotional distress, what we call it, don't you think you can focus on a stronger position, then you can become more successful? The emotion part is the difficult. Just look at this picture on the right hand side. The guy is carrying the question mark. He doesn't know whether to go the right hand side, left hand side, or go straight. And that's what happened to a lot of traders out there. Now, ask yourself, can you type down the answer? What are you? Are you a discretion trader? Are you a mechanical trader? Do that while I have a sip of water. Okay? Are you a discretion trader where you have a lot of indicators, you trade very subjectively, sometimes do this, sometimes do that? Or you're kind of mixture with mechanical trading where your objective, you have the same key indicators for all markets. That's what trade VSA Pentagon Guider do. Supposed to standardize all the indicators, looking at price, looking at volume, which is the primary source, like what John Murphy said back in 1999. Okay, we got some coming in the hybrid, good. Okay, what are you? Discussion trader or mechanical trader? Good. Please type in on the response, and I'd love to hear them. Okay, now in our Trade VSA website, we have the Pentagon Guider and Pentagon Guider cell. So just visit them. We have that available currently free of charge. Eventually, we will lock it up, once we get the momentum in here. But using the Pentagon Guider, we have the color-coded one too. Basically, in short, it's the same as the traditional SOS, SOW, the purple being the more trendy, more so-called in the continuation momentum. The green is just about coming off, right? We will probably have another session to go through the ST and LT to answer a lot of the questions here. But if you do have any question, do let me know, all right? So here we have it's a really brand new, we color coded it. So you can see red is like the first gear, not ready yet. Second gear is the green color. And the fifth and sixth gear, that's where you are going very fast, is the purple one, where the market is actually moving higher. So you have to be very careful. Now let's look at some case study example in here with the Pentagon, kind of using the Singapore example of 558. You can see here, 60 minutes, it made about 7.8% gain on the hourly chart, especially when the market doesn't have much trend. If you can make 7%, that's not too bad over using hourly chart over a period of, let's say, about 2 weeks. All right. Then you can see CPO made about a 5-minute chart in here. You can see there is a Pentagon sell here, right? And then you cover back here that from this range, we estimated about 25 points times 25. That's 525 ringgit per contract. Okay, and that's actually over probably 6 hours. Yeah, up to here. This is from let's say maybe 4 p.m. just before 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. just 2 hours. So depending on the time frame that you like to trade, do take note. Okay, eventually you have to sort of feel your way out which one is good. I will definitely show you my trading period that I like because maybe of my risk tolerance. Everybody is different, so you can trade the 5-minute or 15-minute or 30-minute. See what fits you. Okay, there's no one size fits all. But what we are trying to say nowadays we have the intraday chart using trading view, so we can see the 60 minutes how well we run. Now this is a case of a US. You carry on about 2 weeks just after January, end of January. That's a 28.7% on the hourly chart. You can see this one here, buy here, okay, and then sell here. Okay. Then we have the Malaysian CPO, we have a long, and you can go short. Now remember, the year of 2019 is not going to be all the way going up. We will have market coming down. I do see March onward, April is going to turn bearish. So when the market turns bearish, what to do? You must learn how to short. And definitely Pentagon Guider, having the red sell guider will short, and then the orange you cover back. So in this case, 12 points times 25. Okay, you talk about 50. That's a sell. That's 225 ringgit, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 225 ringgit profit for overnight carry from last night to the next day. So when you see the Pentagon, get out. All right, exit. When you get in, try to get in. On the Singapore side, SGX5 GDB. Right, Sun Power, you have the daily chart. Okay, on daily chart, again, you hold it about 2 months, somewhere in December, 66% up since the buy signal here. Mega First on the 60-minute chart, looking at 12% and 11%. We will have 2 stocks that we think next week you can trade using the hourly chart. Okay, use the Pentagon Guider and see how you go from there. Learn to use the ATR stop loss, which we will do on our next workshop. On front can, the KLSA 60 minutes here, you can see you make a 6% gain in 6 days, which is good. And today we'll talk about the volatile market too, all right, using the Hang Seng. So this one is 6 days. We're trying to get faster and faster, which means we try to achieve the same amount of price gain, shorter time frame, so less headache, don't have to carry so long. Guangzhong here, you can see from the buy Pentagon to the sell 7%, and then you buy another one, you exit out here. That's another 5.5%. Okay, so that's how you want to do this too. Then we have the Naga Corp. This was a trade back in early January, and it's gone up 22%. Buy here, still up. So if you're happy with 22%, you can take it, or you can wait for the red Pentagon. Okay, do see what's you fit, because sometimes you want to win more, then you take shorter profits, right? Because when you're allowed to run your profit, your winning rates, bear in mind, will be less, but you win more. At the end of the day, is at the end coming out, right? So it all depends on the time frame. So here are some guides, okay? Candidate guide for the TLSC. If shares, if you're going to trade for intraday, make sure you go above 20 cents, and your position trading $1, share for $3 to $4 is investing, and volume times price is 300,000 to 400,000 volume. That's the kind of volume you want to be looking at. For the SGX market, you're talking about something above 10 cents for the intraday, and 50 cents for position trading, and $3 to $4 for investing. Again, turnover, we're looking at 300,000 to 400,000 for the SGX market. We don't want to pick things that is too small for that one. So next thing is the trading style. What trading style fits you? So what's the difference between red and orange? Oh, okay, Han Hui, very simple. Orange is to cover back your short. So you shorted the red, you want to buy back. So I'm going to show you the next slide here, okay? Okay, so the style is important, but right now I'm just going to be doing style A and style B for my speculative trade, okay? Some for my investing one, I will probably do style C, which is good momentum. So I'll position trade within weeks to less than 1 or 2 months. Because as I said before, March onwards, the market is going to turn. So I rather trade the intraday and the 5-day one. So you got to know what style you want to trade. So style A, style B, style C, or style D. This is something we're going to talk about in the training going forward. Okay. The Pentagon Guider SMT stands for Smart Money Tracking System. We have the buy and sell signal. We have the dual ATR stop loss. The VSA, SOS, SOW remain the same. The next release will be the volume spike indicator. Basically, it's a Yao Ming bar. If you remember, Yao Ming bar are the one that have climatic volume, which we talk about trend reversal. So today, trend reversal comes in the VSI indicator, the volume spike indicator. We'll leave that aside. We'll come back to it later. Now, if you look here, the Pentagon Guider buy here, you can see once it turned green, that's where we think to buy. But we have what we call a trigger, a buy trigger, which I'll go on to the next slide. Then you have the Pentagon red to sell, and you have the dual ATR stop loss. The red is for long, the blue is for short, because we cater long and short in this case. We have two moving average, 20 and 40. So it's important. Now we also have on a tutorial that Zach has done up for how to use this 20-40 Pentagon Guider and Pentagon sell. So make sure you watch that one to repeat, okay? Then on the trend zone, what we're saying that now orange is bearish. So that's where we said likely to have what we call declining. The market is declining. That's where you want to do short covering and doing reaccumulation, because there's a lot of distribution in up here, and then the market go through what we call a stage 4, right? And then this is Inari, which have a buy signal recently, and it's going through a pale blue-ish trend zone. That's a markup stage. Okay, so as it go higher, I'm thinking to sell. Right. So while it's still blue, but going forward with the market outlook, I'm not that positive. Okay, now the SOS, SOW, sign of strength, still measures the strength of the bullishness, demand overcoming supply. The more green that we see is better. And sign of weakness, SOW, because these are important. Let's say you decided to trade somewhere in between. Let's say here. This is pale orange, right? And you the red Pentagon here, red. And then you shorted, but you missed this entry. Where would you go in? Right, this is where we use the SOW pullbacks, which will give you as part of our training to teach you how to trade those pockets of opportunity, I call it, for choice and yeah. Now this is the Pentagon guider sell. We got the SOS, and whole point of the buy signal is that we have seek the market bottom, right? And the red pentagon is based on SOW, where we have seek the market top. Now all these are proprietary. Of course, some people ask me, how is the signal generated? These are meant to be a secret of the company. But if you learn already about price and volume spread analysis, many of you will do very well with Pentagon Guider too as a backup. It's like a computer analyst telling you, hey, I think the market here, but I got this expert system confirming with me it is a buy. Now the orange Pentagon is basically a buy signal for short covering, which is based on the current very immediate SOS. So which means if you sell, then you buy back. Now here's an example how we want to go long. Okay, how we want to go long. We buy at $10, let's say, we buy here. This is for the long position, and then you sell at $15. Okay, we sell at $15. This is where we gain, buy 10, sell 15. So we made a profit of $5. And this one is for the short. So Pentagon rate is for exit. Now on the short side, sell high, buy low. The long side is buy low, sell high. Okay, just remember that. So here is where we do sell here first. We short sell $12, right? And then we buy back to cover at $8. That's the guideline that we have for you. Buy back to cover at $8. But a lot of time is still maintaining downtrend. All right. Now this is the basic buy trigger. The point is, if you have the green Pentagon guider here, and if it's one bit above the previous close, okay, previous close, if the next bar closes above, you buy. So you wait for it to close above, then you buy. That's where the thing triggered. Okay, so which means if you have a chart like this, okay, and this one goes up here, this is where you want to buy. So typically when you use the Pentagon guider here, then say you see whether you want to buy or not, right? Then we have the trailing stop buy trigger. Sometimes the chart don't close above here. It's just sort of like hanging above here. So we buy one bit, okay, again still one bit above the green Pentagon. When it close higher, then we buy, and then we write this thing up. All right. We want to buy, so it's a trailing buy stop. Now some of this example may fall like you saw a stock that came out, then you just track it for another 5 to 8 days. Okay, so it's still a manual trade. One of the ways to do this, let's say you spotted stock ABC and you want to buy at $5.40. So you can go on to TradingView, set the price there. All right, I think one of the tutorials we do next Friday, you can set a tutorial, let's say at 45 cents. So when the 45 cents come to you, you can buy. Or you can go into, I'm not sure if the system now allows you to do buy stops. Okay, if you can do buy stops, it's good. Because I've seen the CIMB platform, I can do buy stops. But unfortunately, off hours, I can't show you that one. So there are two ways to exit a long trade. You wait for the Pentagon sell, or when it closes below the ATR stop loss. There is a section which I don't have time to go through. I'll go through more in the trade management section, which is next week. Okay, next week we'll do that one where we have the time-based exit stop, right? In here, you can see you sell the next bar below the low of the sell. So if you find the low, there's this here. Okay, if the bar closes lower here, you're out here. Okay, so when you see red Pentagon, it's time to go. When you broke down, also time to go already, and the market goes up. At least you avoided this sell-off in the. So that's why one of the things that we do is that during my market outlook, I tell people, it's going to turn. Just wait for the red Pentagon and see how we go from there. Okay. If it closes below, this is an ATR stop loss. That's why we have one. This is for the long position, right? And then we have one short position. This is to sell if you break through the ATR stop loss. Now, trading plan is important too, right? We will emphasize again in our training, those of you who will join us. Entry price, what price to enter, target, what price do you want to take profit, where do you want to cut loss, and how long do you want to be in the market. This is where you want to enter what price. This is using the buy trigger. Okay, so you determine from your green pentagon close, then you put 1 bit. Okay, 1 bit. Then where to take profit? You can take 5%, 10%. I'll leave it up to you, or all high. Okay, or you want to use the pentagon rate. A lot of time I tell people, look, normally if I do trade, I'll switch to an hourly chart for stocks. Okay, and if I were to trade a more volatile, I'll use 5-minute chart when I trade the Hang Seng Futures. Okay, because when we trade Hang Seng Futures, I will show you how to trade even shorter time frame and when to cut loss. And how long do you want to be in the market? So this is either style A, B, C, or D. I don't know if you remember or not. So again, our workshop, I'll go through more of it. Now this is the initial stops where you want to put in. First, if you want to, there's another one. Okay, we got 2 initial stops. Typically, if you buy, you can put your stop loss below the pentagon here, or 1 bit below. In this example, I'm showing you is you put it below the pivot low. Here is example 1, and you can also put it example B. So the A or B you can put up here when you're doing a basic buy in here. All right. So we are let's say the market goes this way, goes up. Like you buy it here, you can put it below here, or you can put it below here. There's 2 ways, here or here. Now, when entering a trade, in this example, what we call a stage 1 accumulation, a small stage 1 accumulation, where the market just range bound in here. Again, this is a pentagon buy. You can put your initial stop loss here or initial stop loss here. The initial stop loss actually will determine the position sizing. Again, I will cover it more on the trade management, because this workshop tonight, I just want to showcase to you, we actually have a course prepared for you for the training. Then we have the break-even stop. As the market go higher, we just want to trail the stops, and ideally after 5%, we will cover to the break-even stops over there. Okay, so you have to do this as part of your trade management. Sometimes, as I said before, so mafan, 8%, 6%, take it and run. Again, it all depends on your plan. Okay, so we have discussed about the long. Now we will also talk about the short. For the short, just reverse the criteria. All right. Now a little bit of consideration in here. If the market already exceeded 5 or 8%, don't chase. And if uncertainty, don't trade. Stay aside. Because with the Pentagon Guider, there's so many opportunities coming in. Right? Like what Tom told me. Look, if you don't know what bus to go home, don't jump at any bus that comes into the bus stop. You end up going somewhere else. So you have to wait for the right bus number. Whether it's number 42, because in London everybody take bus. So he's a London guy, spent most of the time, but he live in Worthing. Okay, don't always try to buy at the lowest or sell the highest, and always know what to do at any point of time. Now, this is the topic I want to talk about, where it occurred to me, and actually it was an idea came out by one of the traders who just want to trade market volatility, how to make income profit daily. Okay, again, choice and prosperity. So this came from one of the traders. I'm not going to mention name. He said 5 days trading by my wife account for Hang Seng Core Warren by following Pentagon and support reason earned him about 1800. He has his track there, and he tracks it. Work very well for beginner. So I said, yeah, wonderful, man. So the point is, the more volatile the market is, and somehow looking for the kind of profit that we have, is we're going to be looking at the Hong Kong exchange. And this was a discussion I had with Jin Yu. I said, look, I think Jin Yu is also listening right now. Today we have this discussion. We said, look at the 5 minutes of the Hang Seng, and you only want to start trading after 30 minutes. And we did have a trade in here, as you can see below here, right? Hang Seng start to show, denoted by the sell. I'm just going to show you the next chart, okay, here. So you can see this one was 9:30 was here. Hang Seng, remember, start at 9:15. Okay, and the trading will be interested from 9:15 to 12. Reason is because that is the time where it has the heaviest volume. Now, one is really appealing to a lot of people. I said, look, if you really want to trade this volatile market, just trade between 9:15 to 12 noon. And this is a time where you see a lot of opportunity, especially tomorrow. If the Hang Seng were to go down and we see a red pentagon between this time, it's actually a good area. This is a 5-minute chart. You can see around 9:45 here, you can short, but we don't short the Hang Seng futures, okay? Do keep in mind. Now, we will short what we call the put and call structure index warrant. Now, there's always two ways to do it. You can do the futures, but I find the cheaper alternative is the Macquarie, and this is from their site, which is actually an index warrant. You can find out more, but basically, we're using this instrument to go long or go short. In short, we use the pendulum guider to tell us the direction and the time. And then we go on to our execution platform, which is in my case CIMB, UOB, and you do either a put to short, a call to go long, right? Hang Seng, because Hang Seng is very volatile, a lot of liquidity, all right? So you can see here the pentagon, so it's a short, and to trade on the Hang Seng, this is on the long side, you look for H, in this case you can see this printout, HSI H, okay, 4F, and the price will go higher if Hang Seng future falls. That's where the red pentagon goes down. And if you want to go long, you type the C3W. When this one, sorry, long when the one goes up, not falls, up, go up. Okay, just take note of that one, go up, right? So during execution, please be careful which to choose. Remember, H for short, C for long trade. Right, when you see the green pentagon, then this one, normally when you go to iTrade CIMB, just go in, you can see this too always has the highest volume of the day. I think for tomorrow, long or short is the same thing too. It's depending what Hang Seng has. So those of you who already have the green pentagon, watch out tomorrow. Just do paper trade. Also, I understand is iTrade has a paper trading account. Just try it out first, or you can do paper trading, or like this demonstration I'll show you here. Now, this example was on the chat group. The HSI, again, sorry, this typo mistake here. HSI, it's auto-correct. H4Y is basically a short trade. It's a short trade. Basically, it's a, oops. Why is it doing that? Oh my God. Okay, I discard that. My trade. Oh, my mouse gone. Excuse me, I just need to get this back. Okay. That's for the next trade. Yeah, I'm back here. Okay. Just keep it back here. Just give me a minute. I'll get my slide back. Yeah. Okay. So this was the Hang Seng HSI. Okay, H4Y. So you can see at 9:45 a.m. today, right? This was 11:30. You can see it's somewhere around here, right? It was doing around, say, around 26 cents. Okay, 26 cents. This was 26 cents. You can see that's where the 9:30, 9:45 time frame, where I said, look, here's where input you can do. Within an hour, the market actually moved 26 to 29. That's almost 11.5% move, trading the H4Y. And there's a lot of liquidity. You can see here, we have a volume about 400,000, POC close to about 24. That's almost 11.5% move. And if you think that 11% is enough for the day, it's okay. But the person that I've talked to you that did a lot of trading, who introduced this concept to me, this fella here, right? I'm not going to mention him by using the wife's account, is just looking at 6 to 8%, right? And so when he getting 8%, and if you use a small capital size of 5,000 ringgit, right? Let's say you make 6%, all right, and you get that done, 300 ringgit. That's not bad, 6% move, and the commissions are cheap, only 8 ringgit. So two-way in and out, you're talking about 16 ringgit. So the commissions are low. So you can do quite a lot of trade. And this is something I will teach you guys also in futures in April or May. I'm still planning this trade as the trade develops in here. So this is how you made 11% move for that market. So the market, I didn't know what it closes. This was the PW stand for put, means you're going short. C3W is the long one. So in summary, the intra trading been out and in. Or questions? Can any broker can every broker account buy HSI? Yeah, this is a normal product lah. It's on my tomorrow when you go over to your so-called board. Oh, Monday is correct. Coming Monday, next Friday we can do this. But if you look at the trading board, you'll see the H4Y. A lot of volume. One of the reasons why I believe is this is actually run by Macquarie. They provide the market liquidity, and they're really heavily promote. If you go to Macquarie Warren website, there's a lot of education in there. I really encourage all members to go and learn more. Actually, as a matter of fact, most of you guys know more Warren than I do. I only use this as an instrument to which one to buy, which one to sell, the heaviest volume. And why it works is because Hang Seng is very volatile. You look at KLCI. What's the daily movement? Cannot make money also. CP also cannot make money. Hang Seng, I tell you, it's like a gambling, man. But with Pentagon Guider, you can be in and out. Of course, I tell people, look, go and try it out. Do a small trade, maybe a 1,000 ringgit trade, because you can do still pay 8 ringgit and try. Or maybe do a 100 ringgit trade and see how well it works. Because when you do that 100 ringgit trade, it's a small trade, right? That's all you do, 100 ringgit, you buy, let's say, 25 cents, right? You will see your fear and your emotion, right? Test it out, all right? And if you're in and out within the day, yeah, you pay $8 commission, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about overnight, because if you carry that trade and all of a sudden you short by buying the H4Y, which is the put one, and suddenly Dow Jones went up, you're going to have a gap up against you. Then whatever money you make also lose, right? So no worries. And we also like this is because of the simple and short period between 9 a.m. to like 12. Actually, Hang Seng open at 9:50. So just like a Grab car driver, you only turn on when you want to work during this time, only when you have time. That's why we talk about the Choi San Ye, the God of prosperity. With Pentagon Guider, the God of prosperity is here with you. Now I have two stocks here. This is more stocks, not so much for the futures. We got two, 5071K, let's say 60-minute chart, and the BHK for the SGX 60 minutes. This is a trade idea for next week. Now I look from the stock trade idea using the 60-minute chart. You can see we just have a green pentagon. Okay, and so that looks pretty nice, a nice uptrend. Market pullback a bit right now at $1. Right, you got low volume. See if it breaks higher or not. And please have a plan. Do you want to take 6%? You want to continue to ride it until you see some sort of volume or whatsoever, or you can use the ATR stop loss. Okay, this is on the 60-minute. On the Singapore side is SIIC environment on the 60-minute chart. BHK.SGX at 35.5 cents. Whether it will go up some more, but we did have a Pentagon green that got triggered around 35 cents. See how we go from there. Okay. Now let's do a competitive comparison, because we have some members already come back to me, Martin, your system are very similar to this competitor, so and so forth. So I would also address that in this presentation. You can see we got ABC, XYZ, and DRM. I will talk about DRM later because that one's in Singapore. Now we have a well-known educator provider, provides very similar technical analysis education. They have buy and sell. That's the ABC competitor. Okay, and then we have the XYZ, overseas educator provider that's based in Malaysia, also providing technical of many colorful charts. Okay, now this is the ABC one you can see here that provides buy, and this is for E&O on last year, 30th of July. You can see Pentagon Guider actually the sell signal came 2 weeks earlier, and you can see this one was the sell on the 20th of August. You see sell 152 here for E&O, and Pentagon Guider very similar. So we compare back to back, and you can see the sell Pentagon was on 30th of July, right? So if you look point, sometimes we are earlier a few days. Most of the time we are spot on. Okay. And because a lot of people want to compare, so I've done the comparison too. We keep it very simple. Now you look at two charts, right? We can point is simplifying. As long as the trend region is pale, it's short all the way. If it's blue, you turn long. All right. Then same competitor ABC for FGV. Yeah, this one more recent is the 10th of January 2009. The ABC also same. 10th of January 2019. You can see the buy one. You can see buy on 10th of January at 78. On our Pentagon Guider also same. Okay. You can see that one also 10th of January. So we are as good as competitor ABC, right? Sometimes we are even earlier and faster too. Right? On the next one, XYZ is for Anzo or older example, 2016. This is the one that we talk about, very colorful. You can see this is in Chinese character writing. So the buy signal came in on 2nd of December 2016, whereas for the Pentagon Guider was a bit earlier, coming in on 7th of October. Right, you can see point by point we are either earlier or shorter at that time with this very colorful competitor XYZ2, right? So the time is now. The choice in here is already here, right? What has worked for 150 years, we believe will work today. Now, even if we compare to our competitors, we are in par with them or even earlier to them. But our pricing is the best one, because we find that, look, with Pentagon Guided, what I show you, the market volatility, trading the Hang Seng, you have full control of your life, just doing 2 hours and make a couple $100 a day. If the volatility, you deserve the wealth that you need, huh? And because if you don't, no one care more about your money, right? Our eco environment, which is hosted by myself, my trainer Zach here, we are there to assist you while our coaches in there. We have set up a new what we call a Trade VSA support Telegram chat, and we started that yesterday. So we're answering a lot of questions, because many of you will have a lot of questions because about the life that you wish to lead. All right, if not now, when? A lot of people wait and wait and wait. The time is now. Now some of these are our testimonial VSA. We have simplified in here, picks a lot of winners, and he's quite happy. Mr. Low from Hong Kong. Then we have Jin Yu. We talk about the Hang Seng Futures, and some of the members told me, look, they say go place to cari makan, I'll teach you guys also. And definitely Pentagon Guider, being a support, you guys got the first to use it. You want to be a top trader with the right support, you'll definitely be it. And we have Miss Jean, who may be listening. He started with us 2 years ago, and now Trade VSA is even better, like a GPS, a compass. The community will support you. Our ecosystem is second to none. We have our live trading, we have our weekly webinar, we have our follow-up, we have a Pentagon Guider workshop, which for the whole. And this is from Mr. Chin in here, very useful platform, having to make, and he helps him very confidence in trading now. Right now, you got to, you see, once you know how to read the chart with Pentagon Guider, the trades will find you. Seriously, it's not that difficult to look for a trade. Example, if you are looking at some stocks, which is, let's say, Maybank, okay, take a look at it. Is it on the orange or is it on the blue? What is it telling you? Right? In that way, you change your relationship. Especially now, you can short the market. As I said before, for 2019, it's not going to be a year of going up. What happens if it turns? And right now, I'm not that bullish. I'm actually turning bearish because of what? Two things, the foreign fund flows as well as good news coming up from here. So you need to make and protect and grow the money, right? If not, Chosen Ye, the God of Personnel. So when you join us today, here is what you get. You get the green, red, and orange pentagon and the bulls and bear trend zone. Detect the strength of the market, right? And we felt that VSA can only fail if we fail to use it. Now we talk about the professional buying and professional selling. A strong hand, the weak hands. You got to align with them, the good news, the bad news. And once you know this, right, you can apply the principle to any market. Right now, we are backtesting a lot on futures, on the Hang Seng Futures. We are moving to other products. But more important, any time frame, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, most importantly, it must have sufficient volume. You can see that from the Pentagon Guider, right? So your investment tonight is only 2,888 for the Pro version, which include 12-month support coaching, the Pentagon Guided Signal, the charting platform, wonderful one, available through the Android platform, the Apple platform. You get the free delay 15 minutes prior feed with the Pro version, and many, many more, right? You get the screener too, you get the 50-day, and also you get the 1-day course plus a 2-hour live trading. We have our Facebook support now. We started a Telegram one. We have the weekly live trading and also the monthly Pentagon Guided savings that we do. All right. So this is your only investment in here. Now, if you compare to our competitor, the ABC one, right, and then the XYZ one, the colorful one, and a local one, we are offering at 50% discount to our ABC and XYZ. You get the full trading indicator with buy and sell spatial tracking. Even ABC competitor and XYZ have it. ABC is pricing around 7,000 a year. It doesn't have a screener. You got to pay option $260. Ours is included. We are second to none in terms of their performance. And also, what is really good, right, is our 50 stock exchange. Some of you may be interested to trade the Indonesian market. We have it. Some of you may be interested to trade the Australian market because you may have a children there. You want to trade some Australian shares. You have it. Australia also got. But for the ABC, it's very limited or it's not available. And for competitor ABC, only desktop. XYZ got, but also expensive. Alert and notification limited or more. So right now, if you compare to the ABC competitor and XYZ, we are almost at 50% discount. Second to none. Unbelievable value, if you ask me. Now, the 2 Pentagon Guided System training. So take a picture of this. We'll be doing this on next Friday around the same time here for our system training. So if you sign up now, next week we'll be doing a training. And then we have a face-to-face on the 9th of March, which is a Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m. So some people like it live webinar, some people like it live. So do let us know, okay? We will have this training 2 to 5 p.m. training for that one. Okay, take note of that one. Now, if you sign up tonight, right, you will get additional, I said additional free 1-day course worth $800. And this promotional will valid until the 28th of February. You get the pullback advanced strategy, right, which will be on the 17th or 18th. And also the Wyckoff intraday strategy on 5 and 6. Okay, normally we do it on a Sunday through live webinar. So this course is worth $800 if you sign up now. Okay, sign up now, worth $800. So you get 2 advanced course with the Pentagon Guided on top of the 8 benefits which I talked about earlier. Not 1, not 2, but 8. The support, the training in there, the 12-month mentorship. And also, a lot of things that I find which is money makeable intraday trading, I will advocate to all of you. Okay. Now look at this guy. Trading sometimes can be like this, fun and yet dangerous. But don't take the unnecessary risk. Look at this guy. What's he trying to be? This fella. You see this guy. That's why a lot of our members bring their children very young, and we have this little toddler, and he's training with Rocky. Rocky Balboa, the boxing one. You see. So what is he doing, right? So he start young and start his coaching. And we believe in many ways it's very similar. You got to start young. Don't be the guy on the left, crazy man, taking unnecessary risks. But start young. And when you start young, you have a chance. So sign up today. You can go to our website. Yes. We have a question. How many percent of success rate backtest for the system? Well, it depends. If you are talking about intraday on the trending, they're talking about 80 to 90%, right? It also depends on your profit target. Anyway, we're talking about something between 60 to 70% benefit rates. You shouldn't be looking at percentage of winning because you should be looking at what we call the accumulated profits. Okay, if you want to have high percentage of rating, then you want to take short profits, maybe 3%, 5%. You'll win 90% of the time. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Kate, right? Don't perceive taking high percentage of winning. Sometimes a winner, remember we already said, some trades is already in the winner. How come you didn't take profit? Right? Don't let a winner turn into a loser. For general guide, our Pentagon Guider, you're winning somewhere between 65 to 70% of the time. Right? Can you turn on the power? Battery running low. Okay, so this is my contact number, and if you do sign up tonight for the great investment price, we outshine and outbid our competitor almost at 50% discount with our buy and sell. You will definitely benefit a lot more. Okay, any question we have so far? I'm just trying to get the question. Okay. Okay, we got another question coming in. 2888 for 1 year. Yes, that's right. 2888 for 1 year, Jason. That is correct. Okay. 288 for 1 year. This is compared to our competitor. Okay. ABCXYZ. Unbeatable value. Msia can use for Hong Kong stock. Yes, what? The Hong Kong stock inside there. We use it for Hang Seng just now. Can. Answer is yes. 50 markets. More than 50 markets. Okay. Unbeatable price. Okay. Any more questions? Run on, yeah, you run on Androids. I'll show you my Androids. Running on my Androids here. Okay. Since you have a camera here, okay. Let me just get my trading view here. Okay. Can you see? Running on my Androids. This is my Huawei. I got Apple also running on my Apple too, so you can turn it around this way. Same kind of chart you can get. Okay. That's very wonderful. Okay. Running on apps too, you can run it on, that's why we say, right? Here, available through the Google Play Store and Apple Store. Is embedded inside TradingView? Yes. We run on the infrastructure of TradingView, the plug-in plugs on top, but the screener is from our website because you need to find out what stock to buy. Hong Kong is inside there too, Malaysia, Singapore, and US. Okay, now any of you who are interested for the sign up for our Pentagon Guider with the buy and sell signal, do inform us, all right, or raise your hand inside there. Right, you have our contact here. Right, you can take a picture of this for our contact 010-266-9761, or you can visit us at Trade VSA and make the payment there from Trade VSA Pentagon Guider. And you'll be with us for the next 1 year, and I'm going to show you many opportunities on the long side, short side, Hong Kong, US, Malaysia, and so forth. Yearly renewal at the same rate or cheaper. I think I would say it will be cheaper. Yes, it will be cheaper than what you pay for. Like today, there were a trade we talked about, possibility of making about, I think, 600 or 800 ringgit per trade. With 288, 3-4 trade counting maybe. Okay. Now, any more questions? Else, I will bring in my trainer Zach, which is going to go through with you some of the Pentagon Guider, and you can look at some stocks. Definitely, right now is we can look at. Yeah, we got some questions. Let's keep this. No, I'll probably discard this. Okay, and. Any more question? Also cover short selling and the bear market. Yeah, we are ready for that one. Yeah, short market, we want to cover that one. Because as I said before, intraday also can. Let's look at the short side, HSI. You can look at the US market. This is so you can see here is the 50 stock exchange that you have, right? Right now, you can see on TradingView, a lot more, Malaysia, Singapore, so forth. I normally look at the S&P 500 at night, ES1, because I trade the futures. Mini stocks, okay, S&P 500, okay. So this is the hourly chart. You switch to a 5-minute chart. You can see, there was a nice trend here, which is, this is at US time, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's coming up to 9, 10 o'clock. It's starting to go a bit bearish here. There was a good trade here, and then turn back, go long. Now it looks like it's going short. It may turn back to be a long side. So normally we trade start at 10 o'clock. Okay, we start at 10 o'clock. There were a couple of good trades here, shorted down here, long cut, go forward. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, this is, you can see the market is moving. You can switch to a 3-minute chart. Now what we're going to do now is, if you have any stock you want us to look at, do let us know, right? Or get Zach to come in and to go through with some stocks that typically I will look at, like Inari. This is a daily chart. All right. Now this is still looking good. You see, since Pentagon guided buying, it's still going up. Oh, looking there. Yeah, coming. I'm already in, looking to take profit soon. Okay, for Inari, that's good. I mean, the money want to take profit. All right, now, if you have any questions, George can. Yes, because some people want to ask for that one. I'll get Zach in to go through with you in here. So I will come back and perhaps close the session. All right.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Martins. So for the remaining of this section, I'm going to answer some of the questions that you have, if any. Of course, I just got one question from a member earlier on how to search on HSI charts using this trading view. Of course, first of all is that for some of our members who frequently trade for KSC and Singapore only, first of all, you have to open up all the markets in this list over here. So how are you going to check whether have you opened up all the markets or not is that you click on all exchanges. Okay, once you click on this search buttons, okay, under this all exchanges, you should be able to see all the markets that's covered by TradingView. Okay, like Martin mentioned earlier on, in TradingView we got more than 50 old markets. So this is the markets that you can find in TradingView. Of course, if you want to trade for HSI, you can tick on HKEX Hong Kong Exchange, or you can tick on these all exchanges. Okay, so make sure you open up all the lists. Like for example, if I click on Bursa Malaysia only, MIX Bursa Malaysia. So if I type HSI, I cannot find Hong Kong futures charts. Okay, so I have to open up the markets, click on this button again, all exchanges. So whenever I type HSI, I should be able to see this Hang Seng Futures. Okay, Hang Seng Futures. Click on Hang Seng Futures. Click on the current contract. Okay, then it should lead you to the correct charts. Okay, because just now earlier on, one of the member Jin just showed me the chart is incorrect. Okay, so Jin hopefully is still watching this live webinar. So okay, I'm going to go through some of the charts, some of the questions from participants today, if any. Okay, Josh Ken. Okay. So as usual, what should I do is that I'm going to use daily charts to review some overall of these market stages, and then let's look into, after that, probably look into this hourly chart to see whether we got any potential trades or not. Of course, looking at Josh Ken itself. On the left hand side here, we do have what we call that this is a sell off, right? High volume sell off, and now forming a long accumulation stage. Okay, accumulation stage, usually when we see accumulation, I like to trade basically on Spring and NS. Okay, you can check out our website. We do have a Spring and NS screener. But overall, over here, I don't know whether. Okay, are you looking for entry or exit? Okay, if you are looking for entry, definitely it's no now, because we have this so-called red pentagon guidance. Okay, red pentagons to tell me that currently it's not suitable for entry yet at the moment. Okay. So for the next stocks that I have is from Tan High Biscuits. Is it time to exit? Okay, so this question from he Yes, definitely. After this red pentagon, this is the time for you to exit. This is a nice entry. Like I said, during accumulation, you always want to buy during this support level, especially when you have a spring and nest in the background. So this is time that this is time for you to take some profit or exit after confirmation of uptrust followed by this red pentagon. It's time for you to exit. Okay. So the next one that I have is hibiscus. I think hibiscus is the one of the trades that's my favorites. Okay, today for those that who following me on Telegram channels, I do post these stocks out. Overall, we do see a very strong up background. Okay, if you check on background here, we do have markup stage on the left hand side on the background. That means that there's a continuation support by the smart money. Okay, so here we do have one shakeout area followed by a confirmation with a green pentagons. Okay, with a green pentagons telling me that smart money are coming back and are supporting this move at the moment. High volumes. Okay, we pay a lot of attention in volumes when we are using one spread analysis, of course. Okay, pushing back this price to the previous support, which tells me again that over this part here, smart money has removed most of the sellers and now are ready to retest the resistance. Okay, so nice one for hibiscus. If you are looking for entry, you can switch to hourly chart to see whether there's any pentagons or not on hourly charts to trade at low risk. Of course, pentagons is already appeared. This is 14th of Feb between 2 to 3 p.m. Okay, it's already appeared over here. Okay, the next one that I have is coconut, right? Orange, right? Orange. Okay, I'll use daily chart first. Orange, oh, nice one, but slightly higher now, pulling back on the third wave. Okay, so this is accumulations, first breakout, second breakout, third breakout. Okay, so we just reverse this. Okay, a nice buy signal appears here. Okay, immediately smart money push up through resistance, high volumes. Okay, we do have this pullback and now currently forming another pullbacks. Okay, so switch to hourly charts to see whether there's any other trades. Of course, well, again, we have this green pentagons here on 22nd Jan, currently still running. So, okay, we don't see any red pentagons yet. Okay, so if you already enter for these stocks, I do advise you to hold and run your profits. Okay, still running, still very nice pullback on low volume and narrow spread bar. Okay, the next one that I have is from Wong Coco Land. Okay, Coco Lands seems I don't have much activity in my opinions. Okay, I usually would like to avoid this type of trades, especially when you have inactivities bars, like for example here, and I got almost no volumes, right? Usually no activities bars like all this dash bar. Okay, it means that there's lack of support or lack of demand by smart money. Okay, these are stocks that definitely I will avoid and not interested. Okay, the next one that I have is from Jason from Ken. Okay, front cans is testing the resistance. Okay, Jason, I don't know whether you are in our Telegram channels or not, but we do pick up this front can 2 weeks back when we have this line change over here. So if you are following our Telegram channels, okay, I think you are in profit now. I do advise you to take some partial profit because it already hits the previous resistance. Okay, overall, probably I go through again. Okay, if some of you like to watch this video, okay, you can join our Telegram group. I do explain the background of overall for front cans. Okay, so left hand side I have markup stage followed by reaccumulations. Now I got lots of sellers here as you can see, we have upthrust, lots of upthrust at the top, followed by red pentagons symbols. Okay, which tells me that it's coming in, so smart money have to flush out. Okay, have to flush out. You can see another flush out. I got upthrust again at resistance, but smart money decided to push back price to previous supports. Okay, to the previous supports with high volume. Okay, now testing and resistance again. Okay, hopefully it breaks higher, like for example Nissin, Guangzhou Superconnect. We do pick up these few stocks up also few weeks back. Okay. Okay, so the next stocks is from OCK. Okay. Okay, OCK, also one of my favorite picks from last few weeks back in our Telegram channel. Of course, I do exit for this trade because of this bar over here. Okay, overall on the background we have red short accumulations, followed by this is evidence of buying by smart money, high volumes, up bars. Okay, high volume or up bars, and then this best part. Okay, this is the best part, is that high volumes coming in, pushing through this resistance, which confirm that this is the accumulations that smart money have flushed out most of the weekend holders. And now trading out first pullback, I actually posted out these stocks on first pullback, and I traded these stocks. Okay, and then make some good profits, and now exit these trades. Okay, because of this bar over here. So probably these stocks might be going through some reaccumulations, because I do see there's another resistance over here. Okay, might doing some reaccumulations, doing some, probably smart money will flush out some of weekend holder before push back up again. I would like to see more confirmation of strength, like for example spring, not supply, before I trade back to OCK. Okay, so QES. Okay, QES definitely is doing good today. Okay, we have a very nice volumes, okay, on this bar over here. So overall background, we have accumulations, markup, and then distribution on top. Okay, distribution on top, and then we have markdown over here. So, okay, so trend have changed, as you can see, as illustrated by this pentagon over here. And then this is currently the second breaks up, okay, on high volume. There seems like there's a follow through for these stocks at the moment. Looking at intraday charts, probably we find okay, intraday chart, of course, we have this buy signal as well on 18 Jan. Okay, probably you might need to look for some pullback trades, okay, if you want to trade at lower risk. Okay, now let's review for okay. Okay, it's still in stage 4. I will try to avoid, because there's no confirmation on accumulations and there's no buy signals. Okay, of course this buy signal, but it's not confirmed. Just like Martin shared earlier on, each of this pentagon have to trigger first. Okay, what I mean by trigger is that we want to wait for one tick above before we go into these trades. So these stocks have this markdown stage, even though we do have a lot of strengths here, but I don't see any confirmation on accumulation stage. Okay, as you can see from here, this is a previous support, turn to resistance, and price set to confirm yet the accumulation stage. Unlike OCK, unlike AsiaX, so this stocks will avoid first. Wait until my pentagons triggered, then only I'm interested to trades. Okay, for Oka corporations. Okay, Sakawi, like to review for Clinton's. Okay, of course Clinton enough our favorites, but it's almost similar like front can now hitting the resistance after the flush out over here. Okay, breakout wise is very strong. Definitely like about these stocks. accumulations, markup, I have now reaccumulations, first wash, second wash, and now price pusher back up to the resistance again. This is the reason why we have these pentagons here. High volume, push up above, back to these supports, and now testing the resistance. Of course, now I don't really encourage you to go in first. Wait for another confirmations or look into hourly charts, okay, to see where is the next signals. Okay, of course we have the signals on hourly charts on 31st Jan. Okay, probably might trade on the pullbacks. Okay, for Curlingtons. Okay, so any other stocks that I missed out? Okay, probably just let me know. Is that STI Global? Am I right? Okay, STI Globals. Probably I just use daily charts. Okay, Pentagon just turns and forming an accumulations. So, well, for this stocks I will look for a pullback trade because this have run slightly a bit. Okay, run slightly a bit. Probably switch to hourly chart to see whether there's any. Okay, yeah, there's another second chance for entry. Okay, we have here triggers over here. Okay, probably for me I will use hourly chart to trades, but there's no volume. Okay, there's not much volume in STI Global. Okay, so probably I would just wait for pullback using daily charts for me to look for the next entry for STI Global. Okay, is there any other questions or stocks to review? Okay, Antonio looks at Alibaba Nasdaq. MYG. Yes, as you can see from here, Anthony, this is the buy signals, and now we have this uptrust. Okay, so well, not recommended using daily charts anymore because definitely this is it's go up way too much already since Pentagons here. Okay, buy signals over here. Probably just switch to hourly to see whether there's any other second trades or not. Of course, hourly charts, we have red pentagon guiders again to confirm there's a distribution at the top. Okay. Okay, Jinyu MYEG. Okay, MYEG. Well, the things that I don't like about MYEG is these parts here. Huge volume sell-off, forming accumulation. This is the stocks that I will only trade using springs or NS. Okay, spring or NS. So now we have this uptrust showing some weakness after this green pentagons. So I will use hourly charts to see whether there's any other signals for me or not. Okay, hourly chart seems good. We have accumulations here, lots of tests followed by a spring. Confirmation on green pentagons over this bar. Okay, this is a seller bar, trigger bars, and this is my entry over here. Okay, and then this red pentagons today. Okay, which tells me that there's no time for you to enter anymore. Okay, so okay, Jinyu, probably I will just look for another opportunity for me to trade. Currently, I don't think this is very good chance for you to enter with very good risk to rewards. Okay, any other questions? Okay, hopefully I didn't miss any of your comments here. If not, probably I will pass back to Martin. You want to do closing?
Yeah, closing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so you have seen that our trade VSA, what we can do. A lot of the the stocks that I see, I understand. I have no idea and new in charting. Is it C to understand the system? Okay, yeah, it's a very simple. Red to sell, right? Green to buy. Okay. And again, looking at your time frame, what do you want to trade? Are you investing or trading? That's why, as I said, important to know which time frame you're looking at. Okay, charting is very important, especially for this year, 2019. We felt that this is going to be a year of a lot of short opportunity, right? As a matter of fact, I'm not that keen right now to go long. I'm looking to short, right? And I hope many of you will know that for that. So I'm going to close it. So definitely trade VSA is something you want to look at. There's still some people unsure. There's one gentleman I talked to, Jason, and because he got, into the traditional technical analysis, MACD, RSI, the whole bunch of stuff. If you look at all those, they're all price, correct? Not? None of them have volume, so you will get into trouble. Just be careful about that, okay? So do take note all this. So all the best. So if you're interested to sign up, our offer still stand. You get 2-day course, and again, compared to what you pay for, based on our competitor, we are a fraction more valuable, and our cost is definitely second to none. Volume spread analysis. So tonight I'm going to close our trade. Right. So this offer 288 will valid and until end of the month. Okay. Take note. Okay. All right. I will close the session now. Thank you. Anyone still interested? We know Jinyu is already using it. Some of our members in here. Okay, so do contact us if you want to subscribe to our system in here. And we beat you tonight. Good night. And now get more. I think also remember the 2 stocks we talk about next week, which is the coastal and silic environment. Okay, those are the 2 stocks we'll be interested. Bye-bye. Good night.